Before we look at how South Korea's plight came to be, let's take a brief look at the country's history. Economic miracle. In the 1960s, South Korea was one of the poorest countries in the world, recovering from several years of stagnation caused by a grueling war with North Korea. Per capita income was lower than that of Haiti, Yemen, and Ethiopia, and more than 40% of the population lived below the extreme poverty line. Korea's economy was based primarily on primitive agriculture, and unemployment was widespread. The 1950–1953 Korean War destroyed infrastructure, and the lack of natural resources and inclusive institutions did not bode well for the country's future. In the decades that followed, however, South Korea underwent an amazing transformation and became one of Asia's economic tigers. The country, which was still dependent on foreign aid in the early 1960s, transformed itself into a highly developed industrial economy. A key factor in its success was a focused development policy that emphasized exports and industrialization. World-renowned brands such as Samsung, Hyundai, Kia, and LG have become symbols of this success. Korea's growth model was based on heavy investment in education and infrastructure, and close cooperation between the government and the private sector. Successive governments pursued a policy of supporting large conglomerates, known as chaebols, which played a key role in the country's economic development. Koreans worked extremely hard, and their dedication and determination provided the foundation for dynamic economic growth. Between 1950 and 2008, South Korea grew at an average annual rate of 5.5%, the best among the countries analyzed. Other Asian tigers such as Taiwan, 5.5%, China, 4.7%, and Singapore, 4.4%, had similar growth rates, but none matched Korea's. The richest regions such as Western Europe, 2.7%, and the United States, 2.1%, grew at more than twice the rate of the Han River country. South Korea's demographic challenges. South Korea is currently facing serious demographic problems that could threaten the country's economic stability. South Korea's fertility rate is the lowest in the world and continues to decline dramatically. In 2023, the average number of children to be born to women of reproductive age was just 0.72, far below the 2.1 rate needed to maintain a stable population. As of 2018, South Korea is the only OECD member with a fertility rate below 1. South Korea's fertility decline is the result of a number of complex factors. The high cost of living, especially related to housing prices in the capital Seoul, is one of the main reasons why young people are postponing the decision to start a family. In 2023, Seoul had the lowest fertility rate at 0.55. In addition, women in South Korea are increasingly focused on career advancement, which also influences decisions about motherhood. South Korea has spent billions of dollars trying to reverse this trend, but without much success. This spending has included childcare subsidies and programs to support young families. Despite these efforts, however, the fertility rate continues to decline, leading to a fourth consecutive population decline by 2023. Projections indicate that the fertility rate could fall to 0.68 by 2024. Negative economic consequences of demographic decline. Declining fertility rates and an aging population have serious consequences for South Korea's economy. One of the most serious problems is the growing financial burden of caring for an aging population. Within 2 decades, people over 65 will make up 37% of the country's population. In 2045, South Korea will become the world's oldest country, and in 2067, nearly half of the population will be 65 and older. The growing number of retirees means rising costs for pensions and healthcare. South Korea's pension and healthcare system is already under tremendous pressure, and further aging of the population will only exacerbate these problems. In addition, the declining number of people of working age means that fewer and fewer people will be working and contributing to these systems, leading to financial deficits. A shrinking labor force will also affect the country's economic growth potential. Fewer workers means less production, which could lead to a decline in GDP. The high costs associated with maintaining an aging population may also limit the resources available for investment in infrastructure, education, or innovation, which are key to long-term economic growth. Impact on the property market. The population decline will also have a significant impact on South Korea's real estate market. It is already apparent that high housing prices are discouraging young people from starting families and having children. In the future, as the population shrinks, a situation similar to that in Japan may arise, where many apartments remain empty due to lack of interest from younger generations. Such a situation could lead to a decline in property values, which in turn will affect the financial health of both households and financial institutions. In South Korea, where the real estate market plays an important role in the economy, such changes could have far-reaching consequences, leading to financial market destabilization and further economic problems. Deteriorating defense capabilities. The demographic crisis also has significant implications for South Korea's defense capabilities. In the face of the North Korean threat, the declining number of young people of military age poses a serious challenge to maintaining an adequate armed force. South Korea has universal conscription, but the declining number of young people is making it increasingly difficult to maintain an adequate military force. In contrast to South Korea, North Korea has a much more favorable demographic situation. Although both countries face demographic problems, South Korea is in a much worse situation. An aging population and declining youth population could weaken South Korea's defense capabilities, which, in the context of the continuing North Korean threat, poses a serious national security risk. Pro-demographic policies. To meet the demographic challenge, South Korea will need to take decisive action on a number of fronts. In recent years, the government has introduced a number of policies to encourage more children, such as childcare subsidies, tax breaks for families, and programs to support young couples. However, these measures have proven insufficient. South Korea needs to focus on creating a more family-friendly environment, which includes providing access to affordable housing, increasing labor market flexibility, reforming the education system, which is currently highly competitive and stressful for children and their parents, could also be an important step. Reducing educational pressure could encourage more couples to have children. Reforming pension and healthcare systems. An aging population also requires a major reform of the pension and healthcare systems. The current system is unprepared for the rapid growth of the elderly population, leading to growing deficits and increasing burdens on the national budget. South Korea needs to find ways to rebalance these systems, which may include raising the retirement age, increasing pension contributions, and encouraging private retirement savings. With regard to healthcare, there is a need to increase investment in medical infrastructure and develop care services for the elderly. Promoting healthy lifestyles and disease prevention can also help reduce healthcare costs in the future. The integration of new technologies, such as telemedicine, can also help make the healthcare system more efficient. Innovation and investment in the future South Korea must also continue to invest in innovation and new technologies to remain competitive in the global marketplace. With a shrinking workforce, automation and robotics can help increase productivity and keep production levels high. The government should support research and development in key sectors such as artificial intelligence, biotechnology, renewable energy, and information technology. It is also important to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, especially among the younger generation. Creating an environment conducive to startups and small businesses can create new jobs and drive economic growth. Cooperation with other countries in technology and research can also bring economic benefits and enhance South Korea's competitiveness. Executive summary. South Korea faces a serious demographic challenge that could significantly affect its economic future and national security. Despite spectacular economic success in the past, current demographic problems put the country in a difficult position. The high cost of living, social and cultural changes, and an aging population pose serious obstacles to further development. To meet these challenges, South Korea will need to take decisive action on a number of fronts, including pension and healthcare reforms, pro-demographic policies, and strategies to support young families. Investments in innovation, technology, and education are key to maintaining the country's economic competitiveness. Without these measures, the Korean economic miracle could become a memory of the past, and the country could face difficult challenges, both economically and in terms of national security. Thank you for watching the video. Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. See you next video.